Expo City, Dubai, UAE, at the COP28. Now, as you have mentioned, Hans, it is indeed started at the November 30th and it runs until December 12th. The conference is expected to convene over 70,000 participants, but it has been recorded that over 110,000 participants have indeed been registered, including heads of state, government officials, international industry leaders, private sector representatives, academics, experts, youth, and also non-state actors. Now, as mandated by the Paris Climate Agreement, COP28 UAE will indeed deliver the first ever global stocktake, a comprehensive evaluation of progress against climate goals. The UAE will lead a process for all parties to agree upon a clear roadmap to accelerate the progress through a pragmatic global energy transition and a, quote, leave no one behind approach to inclusive climate action. Now we can see that back in the Paris Agreement in 2015, COP21, those agreements were put into paper, pen and paper, and now those agreements are finally being executed. So they're putting a mark by 2025 to see how far the countries, which includes 198 countries that's been included in this agreement, will have done its respective parts according to their countries to contribute to these climate action initiatives. Now here at the COP28, it is divided into two zones. We have the blue zone and the green zone. The blue zone is designated for official negotiations and sessions managed by the UN climate change. Now, additionally, the informal green zone, which is where I am in at the moment, is managed by the UAE, and it's to drive in, foster discussions among civil society actors, artists, and businesses for a net zero future. So a lot of people are wondering, how is the COP28 going on here in the UAE? Now, as we know, well, it's actually my first time, guys, here in the UAE, so it's my first time also seeing how much empowering they are to really set for a completely clean, green, and smart city, and they've done exceptionally well doing that. And so I think it only makes sense that they're indeed celebrating the COP28 here in the Expo City, Dubai. Now, one amazing thing that they've never actually done before in the previous COP conferences is that the different zones, so the two zones I mentioned earlier, the blue and the green, are actually intertwined with each other. So they're right next to each other, unlike before, where you'd have to travel 20 to 40 minutes by car to get to the other zone. So that's one of their way to create a more not only convenient but sustainable transport for the conference that runs for 12 days. Now, one of the things that marks this COP in history as well is it's the first time ever that they've included a health day. Now, today, actually day 4 of the COP28, we celebrate the opening of the Health Day session. And an anchor of Health Day, this event will see announcements of significant new health climate finance and programs in response to country priorities and needs. It will showcase concrete commitments and progress by governments, international organizations, development banks, philanthropies, and also the private sector. In addition, the event will also advance a common understanding of what health and climate finance constitutes and improve coordination of climate health financial efforts, because as we can see, what makes it different is now the post-pandemic side of things when it relates to climate and health is an important and big aspect that one has to cover at this conference. Now, as you have mentioned also, Indonesia is playing a big role. Not only do we have a pavilion actually here in the blue zone at the COP28 to showcase the rest of the world the amazing things of Indonesia. President Joko Widodo have also held a few bilateral meetings with other leaders of the world. And with that being said, Indonesia is on track to achieve the forest and other land uses, also known as FOLU, NETSING 2030 targets. Environment and Forestry Minister Siti Nurbaya Bakar have also stated that the minister indeed said ensuring that the journey towards the realization of the FOLU Net Sync 2030 targets is going as planned. As mentioned before, we've decreased deforestation by 75%, and we hope to do more in the future. Indonesia will be able to maintain control and continue playing a decisive role in achieving the net zero emissions target by 2060, or even if we're going at this pace sooner. And the FOLU NetSync 2030 launched during the COP26 2 years ago in Scotland. That constitutes Indonesia's commitment to dealing with climate change. And as we can see, we're indeed doing great things in providing our contribution into it. And I can only say that being here as a representation of Indonesia has indeed been an honor for me. Reporting live from Expo City, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, back to the studio.
All right, thank you.